The cleric strips the cleric trips the fighter and makes it to me. The fighter lays defeated while the cleric finally convinces me to give him a high five so he can claim victory. No! Hey, what's up everybody? Wild Magic Ray here, and unfortunately you are now Flower Pot. I'm sorry, I just had a weird roll, weird day of magic happening today anyway. How are you guys doing? Having a wonderful day today. Before jumping into it, I just want to quickly kindly ask you if you want to take a second to smash the like button. Only takes a moment, helps out, and I appreciate it a lot, so thanks so much for that. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Anon provides a certified TG answer. Heaven sent an angel to stop your murder hoboing and to set you on the right path. What now? Mating press. Bard. I press all the buttons. Me, the DM. Okay, you all awake from suspended animation as soon as your character is done. Bard, first one done. Cool. Bard, what do? I press all the buttons. What? I press all the buttons. Okay, everyone roll con saves. The rest of the party fails con saves and dies. The other chamber opens up and your party are limp. You killed us? Asks the party. You're probably just resting. Origin of the big bad evil guy. It was a few people I had just met who had apparently been playing for a while. They're friends for the most part, and I was the new guy who'd be inducted at the beginning of the next campaign. It was your generic homebrewed high fantasy setting. Because the DM had us create our characters without knowing what the others were doing, me and that guy both rolled paladins. Mine is pretty much Knights Templar and justify the means and the philosophy above all else kind of guy. He's well, he was pretty much chaotic neutral with paladin powers. He'd try flirting with everything and try to get the DM to describe things for him, and he was often successful in doing so. And also seemed to be a profiteering who just seemed to skimp on doing good, quote unquote, by allegedly donating some of the money we just conned our way into back to the monastery that we came from, though I never saw it happen. Well, one day, we stop a few drow necromancer from invading a small village with her undead hordes. We capture her, and I convince the party to bring her back to Capital City to await trial, since part of our code is not to kill prisoners. So, on our way back to the city, he pulls off the DM for a private word. They come back, that guy smiling ear to ear, and I could have sworn he had a b***er. The DM tells us it's a long trip and we set up camp. At this point, I've called him out on this on a regular basis, and the game's been often disrupted by me calling him out on his and the DM telling me to settle down. I assume what happened next was supposed to be a giant you to me. So, the DM tells me I'm patrolling camp when I come across the tent we have our tied drow captive in, supposedly alone. Then, that guy's paladin walks out putting his armor back on. I'll need you to imagine my face right here. I try to stay in character. Maybe there's some plot twist or something here? I'm desperate at this point. So, my character runs up, screams, "What in the maker's name do you think you're doing?" And he smiles and says this is being a awesome paladin, bro. This is in character too. I rip open the tent's flap and see the femdrow necromancer, with certain parts of her clothes ripped off, still bound and sort of, let's say, licking something. She spits, "Come to have your turn too, pig?" I'm freaking out here. When he puts his hand on my character's shoulder, other one explicitly described as trying to tighten his belt around his 10-inch, still partially and says, "Dude, she probably enjoyed it anyway." This is pretty much my berserk phrase. This is the thing you never ever say to me after something like I just stare at him across the table, jaw slightly ajar, and then make a decision. This respecting the DM's wishes, keeping the plot, and his rights as a player. So I calmly grab my dice and roll initiative. Natural 20. His upper body still has no armor. His sword and shield are still lying with some of his armor in that tent. He can't defend himself here. My character kicks him away, draws his sword and strikes. And he's going insane on the opposite side of the table. I'm calmly rolling dice, getting insanely lucky rolls, and marking down the math as his health quickly drains to zero as my character keeps snarling, "Smite evil," as blood goes everywhere. He hits negatives and is barely still alive. I put my sword away, walk into the tent, grab his kite and shield, and jam it through his neck, severing his spine and killing him with one final, really lucky roll. And he flips his DM finally agrees and tries to make it all work. The gods resurrect him and my character falls, lightning from the sky and everything. And then I stab him in the face again and kill him again. And he takes my shit, gets a red fountain pen, shoves it back to me, and demands I change my alignment to chaotic evil, have my character killed, and leave the game. So I take the pen and write chaotic good, slash the ropes holding the necromancer, tell her we're leaving, and just got up and walked home. Apparently the DM made me the big bad evil guy. Before the party managed to kill poor Sigurd, the fallen paladin, he managed to kill his former god. And that's my that guy story. I did stop playing with them after that. When I walked home, quote unquote, I never came back. I only learned what happened regarding Sigurd's descent into the big bad evil guy levels when one of the players that I did like pulled me over to tell me about it. Apparently, while demonized by the civilized peoples, he became a legendary figure among the Drow, and the figure often cited, referenced or worshipped by heretics and revolutionaries. God damn it, okay, that was, okay, first of all, that was very up from the first player who did what he did, but this was pretty cool. This was a pretty cool story for this one. That definitely doesn't go into evil realm. Maybe not even chaotic, based on, you know, events that happened that led him there. But yeah, still. Of Tritons and Companions. Be me, the DM. Be not me, Triton Sorcerer. Be not me, the rest of the party. DM. Okay guys, today is a light session, just going to hunt some boars. Alright, will Barb be introduced? Asks the party. Yes. Now, what do you do before the quest? Be at the tavern gathering info. I meet the party at the tavern, says the barbarian. I look to be someone's companion and quote-unquote work for 2 days, says the Triton Sorcerer. The DM is silent. The party is silent. What? And that is how my D&D group got an entire side story about warring guilds within the capital. Thanks to the sorcerer. Yeah, I'm sure everyone was excited to learn about that. How to ruin a chase scene. Be me, DMing a homebrewed campaign. Have one sorcerer with a homebrewed subclass which is super overpowered and makes things out of water. Have a hexblade warlock, which is self-explanatory. Make man run and scream across a crowded town. As they chase him, they fail a perception check that shows some cultish guys in the crowd. They keep chasing him. Neither can catch up to him quickly. The sorcerer begins to brandish a water spear. Asks me if he can begin to swing it around and look for invisible assassins. Tell him sure, but there are guards and you're swinging around a weapon in a crowded marketplace, so it's going to look at least a bit suspicious. Tries to argue with me that they can't know, it's just water. Told him that it is shaped like a spear and that it still looks suspicious. Leaves the table in anger. Yeah, I don't know, sure, if a spear is made out of water, then it doesn't even look Jesus Christ. How I gained 4 ratfolk followers. Me. I'd like to roll to persuade the rat people to make me their leader. DM. They only follow other humanoid rodents. I'm a mousefolk. Okay. And he gets a natural 20. They're convinced that you, a shabby looking mouse bard, are in fact their god coming down to smite all those who would use your name for their own personal reasons. They offer you the Rat King's crown. Not every random event has to be boring. Be me, Tiefling Blood Hunter. Be not me, Human Cleric. Be not me, Haduzi Fighter. And be not me, Simic Hybrid Wizard, who we'll call Squidzard. Okay. DM. You're sailing and the captain call out to the crew that you lost steering. I'll hop in and use mending on it, says the Squizzard. Cleric. Let me tie a rope to you so we don't lose you somehow. DM. Okay, you jump overboard and use mending on the rudder and fix it. The cleric pulls you back to the side of the ship, and the cleric rolls strength to pull him up. Okay, I'm going to do it with one hand. Okay, roll. I got a 5. That's a fail. Let me try, says the fighter. If you beat my roll, I'll uncurse your boots, but you have to do it with one hand. Says the cleric again. Okay, fighter gets a 22, and the Squizzard almost gets thrown over the ship. Okay, now uncurse my boots. We didn't shake on it, says the cleric. Squizzard, jump back overboard so we can do this again, and shake this again, and make it a competition to see who can get you on board first. No. I got you, I say. I jump overboard. The cleric immediately dolphin dives on top of me in full chainmail. You know, I didn't really think this through, I have no plan, says the cleric. The ship starts pulling away from us. I have a plan. I use a magic sword which doubles as a magic fishing rod and cast it at the fighter. I roll a natural 1. Okay, you hook the Squizzard and each of you make a strength check, says the DM. I get a natural 1. Okay, so the fighter's just laughing at you two in the water when... Fighter, make a dex save. Fighter also gets a natural 1. Okay, the Squeezer comes flying in from behind you and knocks you into the water with him. It's fine, I'll just polymorph into a crab shark. Our DM has him roll every time to see if he's in control or not of the creatures that he turns into. He rolls a natural 1 and goes feral. The room explodes in laughter. We're all gonna die, says the fighter. He turns into a crab shark and immediately grabs me and then grabs the cleric. He crushes me and I misstep out. The fighter jumps on it and knocks off a tentacle. It screams and falls over. The fighter lights on fire, which was an ability only he and the DM knew about. He rolls a natural 20 and stabs the Squeezered. The cleric crits on inflict wounds. The Squeezered throws the fighter in the air and gets knocked out of polymorph. The fighter falls out of the sky taking a tentacle off the Squeezered. The ship's getting away and I cast Expedious Retreat and start swimming back to the ship. I use my rod to hood the fighter and bring him with me. The cleric grapples the fighter and they both get dragged back. I get to the ship and reel them in. I start climbing the ladder. Fighter: our competition's still on, right? The cleric dashes up the ladder behind me and tries to tackle me onto the deck. The fighter uses a magic tool to cast Mage Hand but rolls a natural 1 to grab the cleric's foot, missing. The cleric also rolls a natural 1 and is scared by the Mage Hand and falls off the ladder into the fighter. They both fall into the water again and they battle in the water for the ladder. I cast Charm Person at 2nd level to charm both of them into just leaving it so we can just move on. Both fail, but now they fight harder to get to me first. Well, that didn't work. The Squeezer helps me up the ladder and I cast Invisibility on myself to hide from them, dropping Charm Person. The cleric gets up first and spots the puddle forming under me. I cast Gust of Wind to blow him back over the side of the ship and make my escape. Both are trying to get back up the ladder again. Okay, can we just shut up and get on the boat, says the fighter. Both climb on and roll high to spot me and start running at me. The cleric strips the fighter and makes it to me. The fighter lays defeated while the cleric finally convinces me to give him a high five so he can claim victory. No! I'm sad the fighter was defeated after all that, but yeah. That was probably my favorite story in the whole video so far. I mean, so far, this is the last one. Anyway, yeah, with that being said, that's gonna be it for today's video. So thanks so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like if you didn't and subscribe for more if you haven't already. Also, thank you to everyone supporting the channel on Patreon, as well as on YouTube. I pretty lots of thanks so much for those. Links below if you want to check them out, as well as the subreddit, Discord, and anything else. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.